Welcome back to Listen and Learn English. I'm Liam and I'm joined by Sophia. Today we have a very special episode for our A2 and B1 learners. If you're looking to improve your listening and speaking skills naturally, you're in the right place.
Thanks, Liam. I'm so happy to be here. Today's topic is one that I know a lot of our listeners struggle with. It's those two small words that cause big confusion. What and which?
Oh, absolutely. Even though they are both used to ask questions, they aren't always interchangeable. Using the wrong one won't usually stop someone from understanding you, but using the right one makes your English sound so much more natural.
Exactly. It's all about the options available, right? That's the simplest way to think about it.
Right. Think of it like this. If you are standing in a massive library with thousands of books and you want to know what I like to read, you'd ask, "What kind of books do you like?" But if I am holding two books in my hands and asking you to pick one, I'd say, "Which book do you want?"
That's a perfect example. What is for unlimited choices, the whole world of possibilities. Which is for a limited set of choices, usually when there are only a few things to choose from.
Let's dive deeper into that. Imagine we are at a restaurant, Sophia. If we just sat down and haven't looked at the menu yet, what would you ask me?
I'd probably ask, Liam, what do you want to eat today? Because I have no idea what the restaurant serves. It could be pasta, steak, sushi, anything.
But then the waiter comes over and says they only have two specials today, lasagna or grilled salmon. Then what?
Then the question changes. I'd look at you and say, which of the specials are you going to order? Because now we only have two options. It's a narrow choice.
Exactly. It's almost like a funnel. What is the wide top of the funnel and which is the narrow bottom?
I love that imagery. Let's try some everyday scenarios. How about when you meet someone for the first time? You wouldn't ask, which is your name, would you?
No, definitely not. That would sound like I have a list of 5 names and I'm guessing which one belongs to them. Since there are millions of names in the world, we say, "What is your name?"
Right. But what if we are looking at a photo of a large family, and I know one of the people in the photo is your brother?
Then you'd ask, "Which one is your brother?" Because you are choosing from the people visible in that specific photo.
That makes total sense. Let's talk about colors. This is a classic one for English learners.
Oh, for sure. If I ask, "What is your favorite color?" I'm asking about every color in the rainbow.
But if I'm painting my living room and I have 3 paint samples on the wall, blue, green, and gray, I'd ask my husband, which color do you think looks best?
Precisely. It's all about the context of the moment. Now, Sophia, there is a little bit of a gray area here, isn't there? Sometimes both can be okay, but they change the feeling of the sentence slightly.
You're right. For example, if I ask, what bus goes to the city center? Or, which bus goes to the city center? Both are actually grammatically correct in many situations.
They are. But what bus feels a bit more general, like I'm asking for the number of the bus line. Which bus feels like I'm standing at the bus stop looking at 3 different buses parked there.
That's a subtle but important difference. It's like which is more specific and immediate.
Let's try some what sentences for our listeners to hear the flow. Sophia, give me a few common ones we use every day.
Sure. What do you do for a living? What time is it? What is your phone number? What happened at work today? What are you thinking about?
Notice how in all of those, the answer could be anything. There isn't a small list of thoughts or phone numbers to choose from. Now, let's hear some which sentences.
Okay, here are some which examples. Which way is the museum, left or right? Which coat is yours, the black one or the brown one? Which day is better for our meeting, Tuesday or Wednesday? Which part of the movie did you like best? Implying the movie has specific scenes. Which shoes should I wear with this dress?
I noticed something there, Sophia. With which, you often mention the options right in the sentence, or the options are very obvious in the environment.
Yes, that's a great tip for learners. If you are about to say or, you should probably use which.
Which one do you want, the red one or the blue one? It works perfectly.
Let's role play a bit more. Let's pretend we are planning a trip.
Okay, so Sophia, what countries would you like to visit this summer?
I'm thinking about Europe. Maybe Italy, France, or Spain.
Oh, I love Europe. Now that you've narrowed it down, which of those three is your top choice?
Definitely Italy. I love the food. Now, what should we do when we get there?
Well, there are so many things. We could visit museums, go to the beach, or just walk around the old streets.
True, but we only have 3 days in Rome. Which museum should we visit first? The Vatican Museum or the Borghese Gallery?
See, we just switched from what to which naturally because our conversation became more specific.
It's almost like a game of narrowing things down. We start big with what and get specific with which.
Here's a tricky one for you, Sophia. If someone asks, what size do you wear versus which size do you wear?
Ooh, good one. Usually we say, what size do you wear? Because sizes are a general category. But if I'm holding a small and a medium shirt and I'm offering them to you, I'd say, which size do you need?
Exactly. Context is everything. It's not just about the grammar rule, it's about the situation you are standing in.
I think our listeners are really starting to get the hang of this. Should we do a little lightning round of questions? I'll give a scenario and you tell me if it's a what or a which.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, scenario 1. You are at an ice cream shop. There are 50 flavors. You ask your friend about their preference.
Since there are 50, that's a lot. I'd say, what flavor do you want? But if the friend is stuck between chocolate and vanilla, I'd say, which one are you going to pick?
Correct. Scenario 2. You are looking at a map with your friend, trying to find the right road. There are only 2 roads that go north.
Definitely, which road should we take?
Spot on. Scenario 3. You want to know someone's opinion on a new movie that everyone is talking about.
What did you think of the movie? Because the opinions could be anything.
And finally, scenario 4. You are at the airport. There are 4 gates in front of you.
Which gate is our flight leaving from?
You're an expert, Liam.
Well, it takes practice. For our listeners at home, don't worry if you mix them up sometimes. Even native speakers occasionally use what when which might be slightly better, especially in casual speech.
That's true. The most important thing is to keep communicating. But if you want to sound more precise, just remember that limit.
Limited equals which. Unlimited equals what.
Before we finish, let's give them a few more everyday sentences they can practice out loud. This helps with muscle memory.
Great idea. I'll say a what sentence and you say a which sentence.
What are your plans for the weekend?
Which movie do you want to see tonight? The comedy or the thriller?
What kind of music do you listen to?
Which song on this album is your favorite?
What do you want for your birthday?
Which cake should I bake for you? Chocolate or vanilla?
What is the best way to learn English?
Which app do you use more, Duolingo or YouTube? Those are such practical examples. I hope everyone listening is repeating these at home.
Me too. It's all about getting the sound of the language into your head.
We've covered a lot today. The difference between a wide world of options and a small group of choices.
And remember, if you can point to the items, or if you just said or, you are probably in which territory.
That's a great rule of thumb. Point or equals which.
I like that. Point or equals which. We should put that on a t-shirt.
Maybe we should ask our listeners, what would you like us to talk about next? Or, which of our previous episodes was your favorite?
See what you did there? Perfect usage.
I try my best, Liam. This was a really fun deep dive into these 2 words. I think it's going to help a lot of people feel more confident.
I agree. It's those small details that really build up your fluency over time.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've covered the essentials for today.
That brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you found these phrases and stories helpful. If you enjoyed this, please give this video a like and share it with a friend who is also learning English.
To make sure you never miss an episode and to keep your learning journey consistent, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy learning!